Hello everyone, Jacquie Edwards here for Live at Lunchtime. Welcome to another wonderful Friday at the end of the week, yay! So thank you very much for joining me today, whether you're live or tuning in a little bit later. I really do appreciate all the people that are watching and all the great comments that I get. So lots of times when I'm out speaking, lots of people talk about how they see my Facebook videos. So thank you so much for joining in. And today I want to talk about a question that I got asked recently in my 5-day challenge group that I'm running right now. And it's also a question that I get asked very, very regularly, and I see asked a lot about rent to rent in particular, is how do you guarantee the owner's rent? And especially if you haven't actually got any money right now, which is a great question. So I know a lot of people worry about saying, I will guarantee your rent, because they're saying, well, what's behind that guarantee? Because when you guarantee something, usually there's, an insurance policy or something behind that holds up that guarantee. And now you can get rent-to-rent insurance policies. You can get guaranteed rent insurance policies. So if that's a way you want to go that makes you comfortable, then there are policies like that out there. Talk to your insurance broker. But most of the time, the word guarantee is not quite so solid, and this will depend on, what feels right to you. So it's around an ethics type thing. So it's what feels right to you and what wording feels right to you. If it doesn't feel right to you to tell somebody that you will guarantee their rent, then don't say that. It's completely okay. If you feel fine saying you'll guarantee somebody's rent even without an insurance policy or something in place, then it's okay to say that. But it's important to know how you can make sure that owner gets their rent paid every month. And for me, when I tell somebody I will guarantee that I will pay their rent, it means that, I'm going to do everything possible, that I've done all my research on the area, that I know that I have enough money coming in, that I'll be able to pay the rent every month, and that if there are any problems, I do have kind of a cash buffer and a safety net that I can pay the rent, even if, we've got a couple of problems here and there. So the most important thing I would say, if you're going to say that you're guaranteeing somebody's rent, is understanding your area, understanding your tenant demand, so that you know what your void rates will be, that you know that you'll have consistent tenant demand in your property, understanding the rental values so that you know exactly how much you'll make and that you won't have any shortfalls or kind of any unexpected surprises. And of course, there are always unexpected surprises. That's just how properties go. Things break, tenants default, things happen. So it's having that cash buffer behind you that you can rely on. So whether that's actual cash in the bank sitting there waiting for you to use, or it's a credit card that you can rely on in an emergency, or if it's a joint venture partner or a family member or something that has some cash that you know that you can count on if there is ever an emergency. Because rent-to-rent isn't a no money down strategy. You do have to have some money to get started. I normally tell people you should have about £5,000 to get started. So that will kind of cover some basic startup costs, some basic legal costs, the little bits of running your business, and it'll give you a cash buffer in case anything does go wrong and you need to cover some rent for a little while. So it's important for you to understand all of the numbers in your business and understand what feels comfortable to you. So if for you it's not comfortable to have £5,000 and you want to have £10,000 cash buffer, that's completely fine. But it's important for you to understand the number and understand what feels right to you in your business. And I'm all about being really ethical. I have taken some insurance policies out for some of my owners when they've, wanted a little bit more support. I've given deposits to some of my owners up front, and I do everything that I can to make sure that I will always pay them regularly. So even if we've got a little bit of a void at a property, or if we've had a big maintenance issue that we've had to take care of, I always pay my property owners on time, and that's a big thing for me. So I also know that I've got a cash buffer in place. Especially now that we've been running for a while, we've got quite a big cash buffer. In the beginning, we got an overdraft on our bank account, Because one of the biggest problems that we have from time to time is a delay from when the tenants have paid their rent. So we use a direct debit collection system. Sometimes we collect the rent and we don't get it until the second or third of the month, where we pay our owners on the first of every month. So sometimes there's a little bit of an overlap there. We've got an overdraft in our bank account so that we can always cover any shortfalls. And that will help us if, there ever was any big, huge issues. We've got a cash buffer and we've got credit cards available. And we've got joint venture partners. So I always know what kind of exit strategy, what kind of plan B we have in place. So it's really important, and having that plan B and those extra exit strategies is important no matter what you're doing. So no matter what kind of business you have, whether it's, property, so even if you're buying a property, so maybe you think you're going to buy that property to flip it, what is your plan B if you can't sell it on right away? So it's the same thing with rent to rent. You're guaranteeing that property owner's rent. What happens if 1 month something happens and you don't have the money? Where can you get it from? Is there a backup? So that's kind of internally how I think about the guaranteed rent situation. So yes, you do need some money. Yes, you need to have a cash buffer of some sort in order to be able to say comfortably that you guarantee the owner's rent. How much and what that looks like is up to you and what feels right to you. So hopefully you found that useful. I know that's a big topic that lots of people really struggle with, and it's good that you're thinking about it. It's a really important topic, and it shows that you're kind of ethically thinking about your business as well. So sit down, write it out, draw out a plan of here's what it looks like, here's what my cash buffer looks like, here's what's comfortable for me, and then work with that. So thank you very much for joining me today. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you again on Monday.